Welcome to this tutorial for this SVG file, which is available in the description below. I'm going to show you how I import SVG files into the Vectric Aspire software and how I create the toolpaths to cut the file out on a CNC machine. Now this file is located in the description below. So first open Aspire, go up the top left, create a new file. This section tells you the width of your material and the length and the thickness. The next step is tell your machine that you're going to cut from the top of your material surface. Next step is to tell your machine where to start from, the bottom left hand corner. The red dot symbolizes the center of the tool, lining up with the corner of your material. This is a single-sided job, so I'm cutting from the top down. Click OK. From here, simply go to File, Import Vectors, find where you downloaded your file, double click it to import it. Now the other option is to go to the yellow folder with the white note, Import Vectors, same thing, find your file, double click it. Now the benefit of an SVG file is you can scale it as small or as large as you like. Simply double click it and grab it and drag to your desired size. You're only limited to the size of the cutting bed on your CNC machine, such as this large machine here. The next step is to head over to the right and click the Toolpaths tab, and then click the little thumbtack to hold it in place. Now I'll be drilling two little holes with a 3mm tool bit. So go to the drilling toolpath. This tells you the top of the material. I'm going to cut 12.5mm deep. I'm going to select the first circle, the left click, hold down Shift, click the second hole. I'm going to calculate. It's going to warn me it's going to cut all the way through. That's fine. Go to the 2D view, click in an empty space. I'll close this. Now click empty space to deselect the vectors you just had. Next step is the V-carve toolpath. Now this is the top of the material. This controls the depth of cut when this box is ticked. If you untick this box, Aspire will automatically calculate all the vectors you select to V-carve. Now there is a problem I've had in the past where it automatically plunges down and wrecks your timber or whatever material you're using. I've since learned to always keep this ticked. I'm going to tick this and I'm going to make it 2mm. I'm going to double check it's a 90-degree V-bit. Now this is what I mean. It comes down to a 2mm depth. It cuts perfectly. There's no automatic calculating. There's no mistakes. As long as you keep that box ticked. You're welcome to experiment, but that's a lesson I learnt the hard way. So I'm going to select these vectors again, all the ones that I want to V-carve, including the wine. Going down here, click calculate. I'm going to click the short preview. This is what it should turn out like. I always recommend doing a test piece first on a cheap bit of MDF. From here, go back to your 2D view, deselect the previous toolpaths. Now the next step is a profile toolpath for these wine glasses. Now I have to change the depth to 2mm again. I've got the wrong tool there. I'm going to come down and find the V-bit. Now this section in the middle is where it controls all your feeds and speeds and your step over. Click select the tool. I don't want it on the outside or the inside. I want it directly on the line of the wine glasses. I don't have to worry about any of this ramping. It's going to come down directly on the line and follow the path. You can change the different path depths. I'll just leave it at 1 for now. It's only 2mm. I'll select the wine glass. Hold down Shift, select the other wine glass, and Go calculate, do a quick preview. And from there, close this, go back to 2D view. Again, deselect the previous job. Now to cut the inside of this groove, you need a pocket toolpath. Now to do this, I'm using the 6mm tool. The gap is 10mm, so that's fine. Again, you can change the depth. I always ramp. The tool is 6mm, so I double it as a rule of thumb to ramp down into the material. Now to select it, hold down Shift, click the remaining vectors. And from there, click Calculate. Now this is only 4mm deep. I'll preview the file. And from there, I'll close this. Again, 2D view, head over to the tab, click in the empty space, deselect the previous vectors. Now this is a profile toolpath. I want to cut, the material thickness is 12mm, so I'm going to cut 12.5mm to cut straight through the bottom of the material into the spoil board, which is fine. Now I can control what sort of tool I use. Remember the V-bit was from the previous job. Now I don't want it on the line. Again, that was from the previous job. I want it on the outside. I could add tabs. It will ramp. The tool is 6mm. Rule of thumb, I always double the diameter of the tool. Now from here, I select the outside profile. Now to add tabs, come in here, you can select just a general number, 4, add tabs. Now you can add more if you want, simply click where you want them, and you can also click on them to delete them. And if you're not happy with the positioning, if they're too close to a certain point, you can simply drag and drop. But for this demonstration, I'm not going to worry about tabs. I'll unclick that. Just double check, right tool, right depth. You can edit the passes. It is cutting 12.5mm deep with a 6mm tool. I could make it 3 passes. That will be fine. It will tell you how deep each pass is. It should calculate them evenly. It's up to you how far you want to do it. You can do it in one foul swoop. It's up to you and your machine, of course. Now it's going to warn me it's going to cut all the way through. Again, that's fine. Do a quick preview. Now I always recommend doing a test piece first when you're first learning. Just a cheap bit of pine or MDF. You don't want to wreck your good piece of material. I've done that before. Again, you learn the hard way, and hopefully this speeds the learning process up for you. Now here's doing 3 passes around the outside. And this is the finished file. If you want to save your toolpaths, simply head over to the save icon, select the toolpath button. Now you can save them individually or all as one if you have an automatic tool changer. Click Save Toolpath and you plug your USB into your machine and away it goes. Of course, each machine is going to be different and you'll need to learn your feeds and speeds and everything else involved. But apart from that, you just need to double check everything is okay and go from there. Good luck. Thanks for watching. Bye now.